Welcome to Gold Derby. I'm senior editor Denton Davidson here with Annie Gonzalez, who plays Judy Montañez in Eva Longoria's Flamin Hot. Annie, this is an inspirational story. It's a story about Southern California. It's a story about Mexican Americans, and it's a story about family. So, what were your thoughts reading the script, and what in Judy could you see in yourself?
Oh my gosh. When I read the script, it was one of the few accurate portrayals I felt of a community that I come from. I'm born and raised in, SoCal girl through and through, 6 generations. The border crossed us, we didn't cross the border. And it wasn't hard to see myself because I saw my tias, I saw my mom, I saw my grandma, every woman in my community who's seen the best in their culture and wanting to bring that out of their partners. So it was super easy to sink my teeth into something like this.
And I stated it's a story about Mexican Americans in California, but anyone can relate to this story. I mean, I related in many ways. Richard sold bean burritos as a kid. I remember my family had a cantaloupe farm. I used to pull cantaloupe in a wagon behind me and sell them to my neighbors. And I understand you sold candy as a kid. So tell me about that story.
Wait, hold on. Cantaloupe, where are you from?
I grew up in North Dakota, and we would supply the local grocery stores. So my dad had a day job,
Yeah.
but after work and we would go after school and we would plant in the spring and then we would harvest them and he would wake up early and take them to all the grocery stores and then he would go work all day.
That is freaking awesome. See, look, hustlers, like it crosses cultural lines, it crosses ethnicities, it crosses generations. Yeah, I grew up selling candy at school in East LA and all across Los Angeles.
And Judy and Richard went through so many different sort of eras in their life, and a lot of
Yep.
those early years Judy wasn't proud of. So I understand she was a little bit nervous about this story being told. So talk about the conversations you were able to have with Judy and how you wanted to make sure her story was told with dignity and respect.
Yeah, I realized I needed to get her alone because there's not very much of her online. She's a very private woman. And when I sat with her, she looked at me teary-eyed and was like, "I'm scared. I've worked so hard to absolve this past, to be the woman that you see in front of you today." And that really hit me because I feel like that's such a generational thing. These people that the older generation that has gone through tumultuous times really thinks that they need to erase it in order to become who they are. But I think that informs the growth that we get to have. And it also informs a culture who is going through those same struggles, that there are other options, right? Not better options, just other options should you so choose and want to. And I think it's really tough to become what we can't see. So these are all the things that I sat her down and told her how important her story is and how important and especially important that part of her story is. Like, we want to see films and stories of humans at the points of their life of struggle and seeing them get out of it, because struggle and pain is the most relatable thing on this planet. Very few people on this earth know what it feels like to win, but we all know what it feels like to be down in the dumps. And it's nice to be like, oh, wow, we've been there. We've worked through this and we made it out.
How much time do you get to spend with her? Because it's rare as an actor to be playing someone real and then also being able to actually hear from them and get their perspective on things. So how helpful was that for you in your performance?
Oh my gosh. I mean, the reason I took the role was because I already knew her. I knew her before I met her. I knew her on the page. Linda Yvette Chavez did such a phenomenal job about crafting these characters in a way that was palpable for the actor to understand them and embody them. There was so much already on the page that being able to spend time with her just helped with those little things that the audience would never see, that you get to weave into a performance from understanding the person. And it was invaluable because, I mean, we'd exchange numbers, so it was one of those things like, hey, I have a question, I what about this, well, how would you act in this situation, what did you call so and so, like I got to be able to really spend some time and pick her brain, and then just trust that I know how to do my job. It's the human experience. This is a very universal story, you know?
And in pre-production, I understand she was the one sort of keeping it real. Richard is very protective of his story and where they came from, and Frito Lay, a company that he's loyal to and had such a successful career with and long. But Judy
Mhm.
would call Eva or the writers and sort of spill the truth about the real struggles that they faced.
As women do, you know what I mean? She was like, listen, none of this polished stuff. If you're going to tell the story, I want you to be honest with the story. And Eva says that, you know, at the end, she's like, you know, the plant never came out and clapped for him. She's like, well, you know what? Eva's like, well, we're going to give him the ending that he deserves. And so that's why you see at the end, he gets his plaque from Roger and Rico. The whole plant factory comes out and they give him that big round of applause, like he did it. So
And Judy was really the backbone of the family. I mean, when Richard was struggling, she was putting in the extra hours at work. This isn't someone that was carried through life by a man who suddenly had money. You know, Richard wouldn't have been Richard without Judy's support.
and I think that happens a lot in these narratives that we don't see. You know what I mean? Of success stories. You know, we say it time and time again. Behind every strong man is a stronger, smarter woman. Like we need support in our community. And I think finally what Linda and Eva saw was an opportunity to tell a story of perseverance through all lenses. It's yes, it was Richard's brainchild, but it was through Judy's perseverance and execution and unwavering faith in Richard. Like you really got to see the power of partnership and a partnership dynamic in this story between the both of them. She understood that without him, she wouldn't survive, and vice versa. I think a lot of the time in partnerships and in films, you know, we try and in life, you know, we paint this narrative that one is more than the other or less than, but it's all necessary. And you really got to see that, especially within the Latino dynamic. I feel like there's so many stories we only get to see one side of it. And you really got to see how where her strength came from. And her strength came from support. Her strength came in the form of love. Her iron fist was saying, we got to get this done. How can I help you? You don't know how to do this, but we're going to figure it out. You want me to write? I can help you with your application. Okay, let's go to the library. If you really want to do this, we're going to do this right. No half-ass. Let's go. We
And
all need.
another fascinating aspect about the relationship is they met as kids, really, and they're still together after all these years. So how inspiring was that to be able to tell this story, a love story about this couple who had been through everything together? A lot of these major life shifts would lead to a divorce or a separation, but they've held strong through it all. Talk about being able to just share that love story with everyone.
I think it's powerful to witness commitment, like actual commitment in partnership. They made a promise to each other to stick by one another's side, and you know, Judy speaks about, like, they both speak like it wasn't easy. It's not always rainbows and butterflies. We get this movie version of it and the bits and pieces of what happened, but it's powerful to see their partnership and understanding that they actually are partners. We hear that a lot nowadays, right? In couples, this is my partner. But to be a partner with someone is, I don't like you right now, but I love you. And my love supersedes anything that you might have hurt me with in the residual outcome of your own experience. Now, how do I help you see yourself so you can see me and we can work together on this? I think Judy had a really good eye in grounding them and the family and making sure that they stuck together. Because I think they both came from, you know, really a really rough upbringing, very similarly. So that when they joined a gang, they were looking for family, right? And when they met each other, they were looking for family, and they finally found it in each other and were able to cultivate a beautiful family that they're all still very tight knit. I mean, like, I get invited to baby showers and first birthdays, and they really are beautiful, rich people in spirit.
What was it like to play a character who goes through so many changes in eras and decades? What sort of challenges and fun does that bring to you as an actress, changing your look and nuances as someone ages?
It was so gratifying to finally have an opportunity to stretch as an actress and really utilize my tools in the craft. You know, the second you put on, we had such amazing costume designers, Elaine, and hair and wigs, you know, Teresa, who really paid attention to detail and understood the era. So it helped me get into the space of, okay, well, now she's this age. What are her mannerisms? So she moves, okay, she might talk a little like this. This is, you know, higher, and to really mature into it. It was such a treat, and I am so excited to sink my teeth into more of that.
And you also get to balance comedy and drama. It's there's serious tones, but there's a lot of lightheartedness to it. There's a lot of funny moments to it. So you get to sort of utilize those comedic chops as well.
Yeah, I started off in comedy. As a kid, I did a little stand up, and that was kind of like my bread and butter. But you know, when you're in this, and I started off doing musical theater. So when you're in this industry and you're like, I can do it all. So it was really fun to finally have a role where you can play with everything, the levity of a situation. I just feel like that's us in life, right? Like when we go through traumatic situations, like you got to laugh to keep from crying. We're gonna figure this out.
Well, you talked about starting off in musical theater. What was that spark? What age were you when you were like, I want to be an actress? And when did that turn from to I want to be a professional actress and go through this grueling industry and try to make a name for myself?
You know, I'm very fortunate. I'm one of the few people that I know who has always known what she wanted to do my whole life. Like I cannot remember a point in time where I didn't want to be a performer or an artist. So I started off very, very young. My mom loved theater. So growing up, even though I was raised by a single mama, she would figure it out and we'd go to the Pantages and we'd watch different musicals. You know, I think at 5 years old, she took me to see Chicago and she didn't know what it was about. And she's like, oh no, like close your eyes. So that at conception, I knew I was meant for the theater. I was meant to be an artist. And I've been doing this professionally for the last 20 years. And I don't think it's for a lack of ability that I haven't had this opportunity. It's just been a lack of opportunity. But here we are now, and thankful to the names of people like Eva Longoria and America Ferrera and Eugenio Derbez who are creating spaces and opportunities and work for us to thrive in.
Yeah, Eva Longoria directs this. It's her first feature. She's done a lot of TV. What does Eva Longoria mean to you, and how has she become a mentor for you in your own career?
Man, she is a force. She is so intelligent. She is so skilled. She is so pristine with the way that she approaches work, whatever it is, entrepreneurship, acting, directing, producing. She's she is so kind and generous with the wisdom that she has as well. She's become like more than just like a mentor, my director. She's become family, and I'm so grateful for her guidance. It's helped me expand and decide like, oh wait, how do I want to move forward now in my career? Like sky's the limit. At first I just thought I'd make it here. And now I see what she's done. I'm like, oh, I can do anything I want. Why not? Let's try it.
And what's it been like to be part of a film that has gotten such great reception? People that watch it love it. The reviews are great. It won the Audience Award at South by Southwest, Best Feature at the Imagen Awards. I mean, just talk about being part of a film that's so well received.
Oh man. Look, I don't go into this industry for praise, right? I decided to become an artist because I want to make people feel things. Now, what they feel thereafter is not my responsibility, right? Depending on where you're at mentally and emotionally, you could look at the work and be like, in a good day, damn, Annie's performance was amazing. And on a bad day, you could be like, that is bullshit. I hate it. Like, but for something that all of us put so much heart and thought and care into, and for it to be received the way it has, is I'm very grateful. And in my brain and heart, it makes sense. We didn't do all this work for it to not be the outcome, you know? we went in knowing that this had an opportunity to impact culture, and culture as in film culture, art culture, a to see a specific culture in a way that they might not have seen before.
And you know, you don't do it for the prizes, but it has to feel good when you get nominated for Best Actress at the Imagen Awards, which is really the Image Awards for the Latino community. Talk about that moment and being surrounded in that community on that night.
It was so it was so beautiful because you just felt like you were embraced by family, being celebrated by your cousins and your aunts and uncles. It was such a beautiful night of community, and seeing where we've come from, how far we've gone, and being excited for the future on where we're going to go. Super grateful, super grateful.
Well, Annie, congratulations on this film. Flamin' Hot is streaming on Disney Plus and Hulu for anyone who hasn't seen it or wants to watch it again. And best of luck to you and the film entire cast and crew this upcoming award season. And thanks for chatting with Gold Derby today.
Oh my God, thanks for chatting with me.